Now we are discussing working of an LED monitor. LED means a light emitting diode. We have seen LCD monitor and LED monitors. Now we are trying to understand how the LED monitor is working. Whenever we take the LED monitor, the screen is always flat. Here behind that screen, we are using LEDs in order to see the video. So LEDs we are using as a video screen. Here LED means light emitting diode. Generally, when an electron makes transition from higher orbit to lower orbit, it has to release the light. It will leave the energy and it will come down to the lower orbit. While it is coming down to the lower orbit, it will release the light. We have some certain materials like gallium arsenate, gallium phosphate and gallium arsenate phosphate. These materials, these are semiconductor materials. Because LED itself, it is a diode, it is a semiconductor diode, it is a PN junction diode. But in normal PN junction diode, we do not observe any light. Here we observe light. When we use the material gallium arsenate or gallium phosphate or gallium arsenate phosphate, depending upon the type of material you are using, the light which is generating the color may change. We are not discussing about that concept. But these materials have certain property. When the electrons are transiting from the conduction band to valence band, then they will release the energy in the form of the light. That light we are seeing, that light we are using to see the video on the LED monitor. How this LED monitor we are preparing? See, several LEDs we use, then we are calling that as an LED panel. Group of LEDs we are making an LED panel. So group of these LED panels, they will make LED display. Here LED screen means we do not have any particular LED type of screen. We are using actually LCD screen. Then how you are differentiating between LCD TV and LED TV or LED monitor and LCD monitor? In both LCD monitor and LED monitor, the screen we are using is LCD. If it is LCD monitor, the screen is LCD. If it is LED monitor, the screen is LCD. Then what is the difference? The difference is how we are giving the light to it. Because whatever this LCD screen we are taking, it is a passive display. What is this passive display? We have discussed about passive component. Resistor is a passive component, capacitor is a passive component, inductor is a passive component. Because these elements does not generate the energy by themselves. They cannot amplify. If they can amplify, then also it is an active device like transistor. Passive, they will attenuate the energy like resistor. The capacitor, inductor, they will not generate the extra energy. They will take the energy from the active sources. What are these active sources? Battery, AC source, AC voltage sources, current sources, all these are active sources. So here the passive display means it will not generate the light and it will not emit the light. Then who is giving the light to this display? The light previously in the LCD monitors, we used CFCL bulbs, cold cathode fluorescent lamp. These cold cathode fluorescent lamps, they are on the back side of the LCD screen. They will generate the light and that light we will see on the LCD screen. But now in the LED screen, the display is LCD, there is no doubt. But behind we are not using CFCL, we are using LEDs. How LEDs are giving advantage to us compared to CFCL? Anyway, the screen is passive, it cannot generate the light and it cannot emit the light. Only it can take the light. Only it can control the light. It can control the light. who are generating the light, CFCL. If we are using CFCL, then it is a LCD monitor. If we are using LEDs behind the screen, then it is an LED monitor. There is an advantage with the LED monitor. There is no need to use the LEDs behind the screen only. Either we can take on the edges also. So, the generating light which we are giving behind the screen or from the edges of the screen, that will make the LED monitor to work as usual. But in LCD monitor, the CFCL bulb should be always placed behind the screen. We cannot, there is no provision to us to place these CFCL lamps in the edges. But in LED monitor, we can place these LEDs only in the edges. Still we will get the as usual output. So here in the LED monitor, how it is giving advantage edge to us compared to the LCD monitor. This is energy efficient. It will take less power bill. It will consume less power. So your power bill will be less compared to the LCD monitor. And it is smaller because we are not using the bulkier CFCL lamps. The LEDs are very small. They are very small. That's why your LED monitor will become very much thinner. The screen is anyway the same LCD screen, but behind, for the light generation, we are not using CFCL lamps. That's why the thickness is reducing and it is becoming thinner. And the viewing angle, obviously, if you see an LED, you can dim the LED by reducing the voltage. CFCL lamps, we cannot dim like that. The viewing experience is better in LED monitors compared to LCD monitors. Again, we are discussing the LCD screen is same. Why the viewing angle is becoming very much good to us. Behind the screen or on the edges of the screen, we are using the light emitting diode as the source for the light. Because of that, the viewing angle is becoming better in the LED monitors compared to LCD monitors. So here we require definitely an external or internal source for the LCD screen. That external or internal source, whichever we are giving now, what source we are giving for the light? We are giving the LEDs in the LED monitors. Previously in the LCD monitors, we used to give CFCL lamps. Why we are choosing only LCD screen? Because it is a LED monitor, there are only two things: generating of the light by the LED, and that light should be controlled by whom? That light should be controlled by LCD, liquid crystal display. Why we are using only liquid crystal? The name itself suggests liquid crystal. It is a crystal, means it is a solid. There is an ambiguity. You are saying solid and you are saying liquid. Solid is different, liquid is different. How you are combining these two? It is a solid, but it behaves like a liquid. It is a solid material. It behaves like a liquid. We are using that property. We are utilizing that property. So here, why this is behaving like a solid? This is the special material. In this also, why this is behaving as a liquid material? This is a special material. Now, in normal liquid, the molecules will be oriented randomly, like this, like in these directions. In this also, the molecules will be oriented in normal direction, but when we are giving electric supply to it, all the molecules will be oriented in the single direction. We are taking this property. That's why whenever you see, wherever you see, whether you go to the railway station, there also you can observe the LCD panel. Whenever you are seeing any panels, you are observing their LCD displays. So the advantage by using the liquid crystal is, when we supply the electric field, all the molecules will be oriented in the definite pattern. This gives the advantage to us. Wherever you go, whether you go to the airport, whether you go to the railway station, whether you go to the bus stand, whether you see in the sweet shops, everywhere we observe the liquid crystal display panels only. Because this is giving us advantage. In railway station, if you see on the liquid crystal display only, we are scrolling the information. Okay. So here, the LCDs are two types. Means they are working on the two principles. Either it might be dynamic scattering or it might be field effect. In the dynamic scattering, when we apply the electric field, the molecules will be oriented perpendicular to the applied field. All the molecules will be oriented perpendicular to the field. Because of this, the LCD display, whatever we are seeing on the LCD display, entire light appears. Because the molecules are now perpendicular to the applied field. Because this is scattering the light, we are calling this as a dynamic scattering. And the second one is field effect. We generally don't use this one, but we will use the field effect. In field effect, we use two types of the filters. One is horizontal filter and the second one is the vertical filter. These are the two glass sheets. So these two glass sheets, when we are, this is liquid crystal. When we are sending a light, example, if we are not giving any electric field, horizontal filter may allow it, but vertical filter will stop it. So the light will not be passed. So when we give the electric supply to this liquid crystal, whatever the light that is passing through the horizontal filter, because of this applied electric field, liquid crystal will twist that horizontal to vertical. Because the liquid crystal twisted that one horizontal to vertical, that will pass through this vertical filter, and you can see the video. The principle is very much simple. This is horizontal filter and this is vertical filter. Horizontal filter means when the light passes through it horizontally, then only it will allow. Vertical filter means when the light passes through vertically, then only it will allow. So these two filters, how the light, same light that is passing through these two filters. When this is passing through the horizontal filter, after that when we are applying the electric field, this electric field to this liquid crystal is making the direction to change from the horizontal to vertical. It will rotate, and after that whatever the light we are seeing, that will be passed through the vertical filter. This is how we will see the information on the LCD screen. Now this LCD screen, the working is same, but whatever the light we are saying, that light we are giving, instead of the CFCL lamps, we are using the LED bulbs. By using the LED lamps, small LEDs. These LED lamps we are using for the generation of the light. This light is going through, whenever we are controllingly we are giving this light, whenever we are sending this light may pass through horizontal, but unless we turn on the TV, it will not go through that vertical filter. So normal, whatever the liquid crystal display, they may work. If we do not use these two horizontal and vertical filters, this concept will not work here. The filters we are using very wisely. Here we are using horizontal filter. The information, light information may go from it. Who is generating the light? LEDs are generating the light. After going through the liquid crystal, we are checking whether we have given electric field to this or not. If there is no electric field, no question of light coming out from the vertical filter. If there is an electric field, then the light comes from the vertical filter. This is how the electric field controls the LCD, we can say. Or if we talk in depth, LCD can control the light. LCD is controlling the light. LCD is a passive display. It does not generate the light. It does not emit the light, but it can control the light. Okay. So this is what we are discussed about the working of LED monitor. In the LED monitor we have discussed, we are using the LCD screen, but for the generation of the light we are using the LED as a source. Okay. Here we have discussed different types of mechanisms we are using for the LCD screen. Either we can use the CFCL, then it is the LCD TV. If we are using the LED as a source, then it is an LED TV. Okay.